weather now, cause and effect. My appearance here, two people, something happened, cause and effect. My thinking, my emotions, it's all cause and effect. Whether we like it or not. If you look scientifically, let's take the word science out because it's so loaded, especially down here in the South. If you look at it empirically, if you look at it rationally, everything's cause and effect. So the same thing. The same thing. You like it or not. It's cause and effect. So from that, for example, the gross level, at the gross perception of cause and effect, at the crudest of cause and effect, we learned from that experience in the 1970s, all the babies that were the thalidomide, in the 1960s, the thalidomide babies, and some people, what's happening? Then when they looked closer, they found the cause in the use of DDT or something like that. In the 1970s, these things, after we got the DDT eliminated and got this thing all under control, then this happened. I was just talking, we just had a wonderful meal at the Thai restaurant a few minutes ago. We had a lot of tofu dishes coming out. And it reminded me of something. There was this thing, as usual, we get all of our wisdom and teaching off of Yahoo or Google nowadays. Not the Bible or the Tao Te Ching. That it's very interesting. Now they say that the incidence of breast cancer among Asian women in Asia, is much lower than the incidence of breast cancer in the West. And one thing scientists say is very clear, it's been reported recently, is Western, people living in the West, let's say West doesn't just mean that, but people living in the West, Western women, generally get a higher percentage of their protein from meat or animal protein. And women who live in Asian countries generally get a higher incidence of, a higher percentage of their protein from soy, tofu and stuff like that. Therefore, it's cause and effect. The rates are not different because one group believes in Jesus and the other one doesn't. Like our grandparents used to believe. If you look very closely, sometimes the cause and effect is very clear. You can immediately get it. You wake up in the morning and, oh God. Oh, it's going to be one of those days. Oh, damn. And if you look at the cause and effect, it's that stupid pillow I'm using, I pushed it away in my sleep and I ended up, you can see cause and effect very clearly sometimes. Nowadays, the big issue of cause and effect is obviously weather patterns. You who live in Florida understand that very well. Why is that? Well, there's high pressure systems are building up here because down in the South Atlantic, we're starting to get currents that are slowing down. The currents are slowing down, so they're causing low pressure systems to stall over here. That's causing rain to drop more in the western areas. Rain drop in there causes more precipitation to go up here. That causes stuff in Iceland to get a little cooler. Crisis in Iceland get a little cooler. It causes the flow in the Atlantic stream to go. It's all cause and effect. It's very subtle. So there's the very simplistic one of, okay, I got to get a better pillow. This isn't going to work out anymore. And there's very, very, very subtle. I'm not going to be able to tell why we've got more weather situations this year, but someone who looks at those things very closely sees the cause and effect coming from this. Okay? So, like it or not, it's cause and effect. What's interesting is physics is the study of cause and effect, you can say in many ways, and many other sciences. But what's interesting is I often say Buddhism is physics, it's cause and effect, the teaching of cause and effect, plus free will. Now that free will is also conditioned by the causes and effects that have built that up. However, meditation, when you really just look, then you can see. You see your cause and effect. You see your cause and effect. Then you can control. I participate in that cause and effect, or I don't. So something appears when we're just follow our thinking, when we're living by habit, on habit impulse, like most people do in the world, because they have no insight in here. then they just follow the habit impulse, and that leads to more causes and effects that then begin to destroy their lives, and they don't know why. But meditation, any meditation, it can be Christian meditation, Buddhist meditation, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what brand of cornflakes, it's cornflakes. So, meditation just means I perceive my mind. Then I have a subtle perception of cause and effect. Yeah, this is a very long way of explaining. But I see that. Then, when situations appear, I can follow that, or I cannot. So before Jesus appeared, I take out your eye, you can take out my eye. You take out my tooth, I can take out your tooth. Totally bound to cause and effect. Cannot get out. But what was revolutionary about Jesus' teachings at that time, for many people, he said, if someone hits you here, go. And what was radical about that is that cuts cause and effect. That's why Martin Luther King was able to use it so well. Or why start with him? Much earlier. You can participate in cause and effect, or that's an insight into cause and effect. I hit you, you hit me. Or I hit you, you go, Then I go, oh, that's cool. Then I hit you again, then you go, Then I go, well, that's really cool. Then I hit you again, you go, Then I hit you again. Soon my arm is getting tired. Then eventually you win. So that's insight into cause and effect. So sometimes we like the implications of that. Sometimes we don't. But anyway, it's cause and effect. Our moral judgment, yeah. So that's it. It's not some plan, some mystery, some accidental happenstance. It's cause and effect. Yes, sir.
I think, therefore I am.
Yeah.
I would rather I am, therefore I think.
Well, you talked to Descartes about that. Yeah, in the back, yes, what?
Let me stack that a little bit more just so I can make it more practical.
Please do.
So it's Monday, and taxes are due, and you can't pay them.
Yeah.
And the reason why you can't pay them is because you're going to get kicked out of your house on Tuesday, and your relative is in the hospital, and you can't afford the bill to take care of them, so you're suffering.
Yeah.
What do I think then?
What
What do I think then?
What do you think? That's, I don't know. What you think is your business.
Where does Buddhism take the suffering? How does Buddhism help take the suffering away from that situation? Because I'm thinking.
Right. So Buddhism means, where did this thinking come from? Where does this suffering come from? The taxes, this person in the hospital, that's not it. What is suffering? What is actually suffering? I'll tell you how, I'll give you a concrete example. It's not as stacked as yours, but it might, because it's real to me, because it was a real experience, maybe it has some word. When I first started meditating, I couldn't take this posture for 5 minutes even. Then we're sitting in meditation in Cambridge Zen Center in Cambridge, Massachusetts. We had a real tough head Dharma teacher guy. He had trained in a Japanese temple, so he was a real hard ass about stuff. You move even 1 inch, he whacked you with the stick. You know, it's a discipline. What can I say? There's a gymnast. Anyway, so I was sitting and I couldn't, and it's just, to kind of keep you focused, because a lot of people get into the moving thing, they're scratching here, they're scratching there, they're scratching here. Pretty soon it sounds like you're on the New York subway system. So keep the room a little quiet. It's just a kind of way to keep things, athletes are trained this way all the time. So, but they don't do it. It's just if you're really moving a lot. Or if your back hurts, you can request it to wake you up. Anyway, it's very light. It doesn't hurt so much. But this guy was a real, sergeant, kind of tough guy about it. So I was sitting. My leg felt like it had an ice pick going in it. It hurt so much. But it was a 45-minute sitting. We're about 6 minutes into the sitting. I mean, I had tears coming down, not from crying. When you hold something painful, I had tears coming down my face. I'm like, I got my watch on the ground there. I'm like, okay. 36 and a half minutes to go. I can do this. I mean, it was so painful, because I was an athlete and I messed up my knee many times. Really painful. But it can't move. Now, that was that particular guy. Nowadays, you don't get many people like that. But that was the discipline in the room at that time. I couldn't move. So, I had no way out of the situation. This is a very simple situation, but maybe it'll give you some. So then I had no choice. So I went, I'm in pain. But what is this I that's in pain, actually? It was like a gun pointed at me. I said, then what is this I that's in pain? And when I look, there's nothing there. There's no I thing, like the Wizard of Oz, someone behind the curtain. When you open up the curtain, there's nothing there. Then when I looked at the pain, actually the pain is not pain. Actually. When you think it's pain, when you think you're suffering, you're suffering. Everyone knows these stories. We hear them all about them. We hear about them all the time. Especially I grew up reading Reader's Digest. My parents had that stuff around the house. You always read these stories about a woman who gets into a car accident. The car rolls over like 4 times. She's got her 2 kids in the car. The car rolls over. She's thrown from the car. She runs back to the car. She gets in. The car's upside down. She gets the kids released from the belt. She pulls both kids out. She pulls them. The car's starting to go on fire, blow up. She pulls them 4 feet, 20 feet away. She gets her mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, brings it back to life. The CPR comes. They take her to the hospital. Then she gets to the hospital. They find out she's a broken pelvis, 3 broken vertebrae, a broken leg, a broken arm, a broken wrist, and a fractured jaw herself. We've all read these stories. And they go, how did you do that? Technically, she can't walk, and she won't walk for several months. But in that moment, when there's no thinking, there was no suffering. It is a simple example. I admit, it's a very condensed example. But we know in our life, when we think, most of our suffering is based on thinking. Carlos, come here. That hurts, yeah?
Sure, I think.
But just don't give me the one. It hurts. Does it hurt?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, that hurts. Now watch. That hurts. His arm's a little red, too. You don't have any attorneys, do you? Okay, so it hurts. Now that kind of pain, okay. But now it's kind of gone, yeah? Yeah. I had a shoulder operation where I broke my shoulder very, very badly. I was doing a meditation retreat, and it was the middle of the summer in Korea. I was deep in the mountains in this temple, 90-day intensive meditation retreat, very deep in the mountains. And we were meditating, 1 month, 2 months, but it was the rainy season, what we call the monsoon season here. The rainy season in Korea. Totally pouring rain. And I came out one night, in the middle of the night, we were getting ready for bed to go to the bathroom. There's no lights in the mountains. I'm walking on these wet stone stairs. My feet, in these rubber shoes, my feet slipped, and I fell down, and my shoulder, the bone came. It didn't come out of the skin, but it totally popped out. I dislocated my shoulder, broke all the bones inside. Fell on the ground in agony. It feels like someone's ripping your body in half. But what was really interesting was I had been having a lot of really incredible meditation up until that point. So there was the pain. But when I really look at the pain, when you look at it, when you look at the pain thing, the pain experience, when you look at it, it's not there. It's not a thing. It doesn't really exist. So I had these moments of incredible calm in the middle of it where I was joking. I was in pain, but I would be able to return to my meditative kind of mind and not be moved by the pain. I'm joking with the guys, telling this monk, why you look like an idiot. What are you crying for, you guy? What are you doing? What are you crying about me about? but with the other monks, kind of joking with them. They were surprised. How can you joke at a time like this? So that's the point. Primarily, our experience of suffering is 95, okay, we have a body suffering. But that's gone. I hate you, you asshole, and I'm never going to talk to you again, you jerk! The pain that I did on Carlos's arm is gone by now. But it's a very simple kind of pain. It's real, but it's simple, in a sense, if we can just talk like this. But, go die, you asshole, I hate you, I never liked you, I never loved you. That pain can last a whole life. The kind you grab and hold with your thinking. Okay? So, yeah, that situation is real. You can't pay with your taxes. You've got the person in the hospital. But if you sit, now, okay, granted, it's going to be a little hard to sit down in the middle of that, maybe. But if you're a practicing person, if you didn't just start that day, if you're a practicing person, then even the arising of this suffering, even the arising of it, in the middle of that, you have stability. That pain does not move you. That suffering does not crush you. Because you know fundamentally, it's not actually, I can't describe it because this is all speech, but you have an experience that fundamentally, it's not really there. Because you know what? The person who walks by you while you're in that condition, they don't feel that. But you do, because you can think that. So if you look at it rationally, it's based on your thinking. I mean, this is an explanation. But meditation means actually having insight into that. That's a mystical, airy-fairy insight. It means actually having stability in this moment. Then pain is just pain. Suffering is just suffering. But it's not suffering this thing that's going to crush me, destroy me, ruin me, break me, tear me apart. Do you understand? So my point is, most of what we make of suffering or pain, just that. So these are all very simple examples, but meditation is actually the experience of what they're pointing to. Let me ask a few people who haven't been here, but we'll get back to you. Yeah.
Could you speak a little bit on the practice of Zen?
Practice.
Finding your true self.
Practice of meditation just means, this posture is very, very helpful. This is a very balanced posture. I get up to sit on the table like this and give a talk like this because there's something about this that it's a very stable kind of powerful posture. So your center is very balanced. So meditation just means, sitting in a chair is no problem. According to your body condition, sitting in a chair, lying on the ground. We once had a 90-day retreat where one of the guys who did the retreat had a really bad disc problem. And he asked our teacher, and everyone's sitting in meditation facing the wall. He asked our Zen master, I have a really bad back problem. I want to do the retreat. And our teacher said, come, lie down. He spent the whole retreat on his back looking up at the ceiling. So the posture is not the most important thing. It's more than body sitting, mind sitting is true meditation. Mind sitting. Okay, that's true meditation. So, sitting, with our eyes open. In Zen meditation, we keep our eyes open, about halfway, this much in front of us on the floor. And, your back is straight, your head is straight. Not radically, it's not a military posture. Some of the images you see from kind of samurai Zen, it's not that. It's a very moderate posture. Eyes open, ears open, nose, tongue, body, mind. Okay, and in this posture, following our breathing, following a very natural breathing. Do you ever notice that you breathe? Thousands of times a day. But we only notice that we're breathing when we're really screwed up. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Oh, that person. We really only get involved in our breathing when we're really screwed up. But actually, we're breathing thousands of times a day. So breathing is just perceiving your breathing, whether it's in Zen meditation, any kind of Buddhist meditation, Vipassana meditation, yoga, Taoist meditations, Christian contemplative prayer meditation, centering prayer, breathing is fundamental. Because when you return to the experience of breathing, you return to just this moment. Yeah. Did you ever notice you don't breathe last Wednesday? And nobody breathes tomorrow. Breathing happens right now. So it's a very simple thing to come back to when we follow our thinking. The habit of following our thinking. Being pulled around by our thinking. So when you return to your breathing, you just return to this moment. So it's a very simple technique in any meditative tradition. Zen uses it just as well. So it's very natural. Just my very natural breathing into my tanjan, my hara, my tanjan. So this is my belly button is right here. Exact location of Hyon Gak Sunim's belly button, for anyone who's interested, is right here. Then about 2 finger lengths directly underneath that, about 2 or 3, that's my center. That's the center of gravity. That's my physical center of gravity. It's my emotional and spiritual center of gravity. From the time we were a little zygote, plastered on the wall of our mother's uterus. There's a little tether. Always bring our whole experience, our nutrition, everything we got was through that point. So this is it's really the center of our being as an organism. So meditation means breathing into this point very clearly. Not breathing here, breathing up here on these emotional breathing. Oh, I don't know if I can make it. That's up here. You ever notice we usually breathe with like half of our lungs. But this is diaphragmatic, with our diaphragm. This is down in our center. So when we breathe into this point. Okay? It's a figure of speech. But that means putting our awareness down here. It's very simple. Now, in the beginning, that is something that might be difficult. But it doesn't take long for your thinking and your consciousness just to settle in this point. Okay? So, your eyes are open, about this much in front of you on the floor. Classical Zen Buddhism is facing the wall. It's a very powerful form of Buddhism. Sit right in front of a wall, if you can. Right in front of a blank wall. Really the founder of Zen meditation in China, Bodhidharma, went to a cave and sat facing a wall for 9 years. Okay? It's a very powerful form of reflection. It's funny, because even now, I sit, we sit the walls a little far, but if you sit kind of close to a wall in meditation, you can almost feel your being radiating off the wall, bouncing off the wall, your energy, your whatever you call it. So Zen meditation is just that. Actually, it's the same thing Jesus taught. Sorry. But it's the same. I'm sorry I got to get in these clothes and do it for you. But it's the same thing that Jesus taught. If you look at Jesus' teachings, there's only one place in the New Testament where he concretely talks about prayer. There's only one place. There's only one. My professor at Harvard Divinity School, professor of New Testament, he's a really funny guy. He'd go around and go, "Can you believe it? This whole New Testament, and he only talks about prayer one time. Unbelievable. No wonder so many people don't know how to pray." He talks about it one time. But it's very clear what he says. Go into a room, close the door. And alone in front of the God who sees you. So that's my teacher, my New Testament teacher at the Divinity School used to say, what's really interesting? If you look at the Arabic, if you look at the original language, go past the Greek into the Aramaic, what he was saying, the posture he talks about is sitting. He says, I wasn't interested in Buddhism at the time, and I'm sure he wasn't. He said, actually, the posture is like Buddhist monks do in the East, sitting like this. He said, in Israel, people didn't kneel like we think it says kneel down. But they didn't kneel. In Israel, people didn't use furniture so much. Furniture was for high-class people and Roman occupiers. They don't have a lot of trees. There aren't a lot of trees in Israel. People in common activities, eating and stuff, sat on the ground. Sat on the ground. Chairs were for high-class people and people like the Roman occupiers. People of Jesus' class and group did not sit in chairs. But when these books got translated into Europe, Europeans with furniture culture could think of not sitting on the ground, you would kneel. You would put something under your knees and you'd kneel. But anyway, he talked about this. Jesus said, you go in the room and go like this. Interesting, isn't it? So meditation means just doing what that is pointing to. You go in, just completely being alone. Following your breathing, just perceiving your breathing. Perceiving it fill you, and then it turns, and then it goes out. And then it empties, and it turns, and it comes in. It just means watching that. No special, weird exams, just watching that. Then your thinking will take you away. Just come back to your breathing. When your thinking takes you away, just return to your breathing. When you're thinking, just let it go. Don't push it away. Don't cut it off. Don't ignore your thinking. Just let it go and return to your breathing. That's all. Basically, then, in Zen Buddhism especially, question. Question. What am I? What am I? Looking at that. Not asking up here conceptually, but really looking into the fact. Because when you ask that question, what am I? Don't know. This not knowing appears. Look at that. That's your nature. That's my nature. It's God's nature. It's Buddha's nature. It's Jesus' nature. It's the same nature. It's before thinking arises. So any kind of thinking, any kind of belief, any kind of philosophy, any kind of theology, dogma, or creed, that's after thinking arises. But before thinking arises. So when you ask, what am I? There's no thinking. Thinking can't go there. Spending time with that, that's Zen meditation. Okay, that's enlightenment. Your before thinking mind, that's already enlightenment. But we don't believe that. We believe our thinking, our fear, our worry, our thing, our doubt, our understanding, our conceptual thing, our belief system, what people told us to believe, what my pastor told me I have to believe, what the precept, if I don't believe that, Okay? So meditation just means returning to our fundamental nature. Throw it all away. In Buddhism, there's three important elements. Great faith, great courage, and great question, great doubt. It's probably the only, I should say with greater certainty, it's the only religion in the world that concentrates on doubt. Because we don't know. Actually, even Jesus had this doubt. You think he didn't? Look again at the Bible. What's the last thing he says? What's the last thing? Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani. It ends in a question mark. Father, Father. And he didn't say it like that. If it's the last thing a man says as he's dying, as his lungs fill up with blood, you can imagine how horrible it must have come out of it. The last thing in this world was doubt. But it's not a bad doubt. Fundamental. We don't know as human beings. We don't know. So looking at that doubt opens up. We call that enlightenment. That's what Socrates said. I don't know. A fundamental. But I have insight into this not knowing. I have insight into this not knowing. I know this not knowing. I get it. Okay, that's meditation. But everyone runs from doubt. What's really cool to me about Zen meditation is it uses it. So great faith means belief. Great courage means this effort mind. And this great doubt means question. And everyone in this room who's had someone die or had someone suffer has that, has experienced it. But most people cover it up with some easy belief. Because then you can go to sleep at night. It's like a little night light. It doesn't light the room big enough. It doesn't light the room bright enough to read a book. But you can definitely go to sleep. That's religion. I hate religion. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I have a question. Do you think Zen meditation is for everybody? Because it sounds like we described the practice you do in doing sitting meditation. But do you think that's for everybody? Because I know how crazy the mind can be.
Yeah.
So when you sit here, my mind just works 24/7 nonstop.
Yeah.
So even when I sit here, I can't do it. Even though I do it, 3 hours, but still, my mind's still gonna go crazy.
Give it a little time. It's kind of like dribbling a basketball. Your mind, the ping pong of your thinking. It's just like someone who's dribbling a basketball. Physics. This is just physics. The cool thing to me about meditation is it's so amazing because it's just about physics. Those thoughts are going that way because something is giving them energy. If you stop giving them energy by themselves, they just naturally slowly go. It's like a dribbling basketball. The basketball is going down and up, 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 down and up. Because of some divine mystery? Because it has to? Because it has no choice but to? Because there's no other way. Because he said so. Or because this hand keeps giving it energy. So watch. This gets close to your question. When you take your hand away from the ball slows down. It's still going. It's physics. It's not going to immediately just stop in midair just because you took your hand away. It's going to keep going. But if you notice, it's losing its force. But here's the point. We find that boring. We want to dribble our basketballs. Some people have 100 basketballs in here they're dribbling. This is my problem. What my parents did to me. What my friends, I don't know. I got this whole thing. What are we going to do? What this person. So that's why everyone's crazy. Cuckoo.
Actually, I found a lot of other practice and help be quiet.
Yeah, okay, then do it. Sure, then do it. If you like yoga, do yoga. If contemplative prayer helps, do contemplative prayer.
So meditation is not the only way.
What's meditation?
To me, it's more like experience.
Experience?
Yeah, sort of enter the state of the mind.
Yeah, okay. Meditation just means you completely become one with your world. That's meditation. So eating, if you have a clear mind, eating is eating meditation. Walking is walking meditation. Showering is showering meditation. When you don't attach to your thinking, everything is meditation. It's not this posture. This posture is practicing. It's a kind of meditation. But true meditation, it's not this. When you eat, just eat, then you and the food become one. Taste become one. When you play your violin, become one. Really. So, I know many musicians. And musicians and people who have that kind of discipline and focused kind of meditation, sometimes they do just a little bit of Zen, a little bit of meditation, and they can penetrate it faster than someone who's been doing it for 30 years. Because they've already been doing meditation. So don't attach to meditation. Just, you find yours that works for you. But the most important point is, my teacher used to always say something very interesting. Meditation's like water. But nobody likes just water. It's like Coca-Cola or orange juice. Now in Korea there's this very popular drink called Ipro. It's water with a little hint of peach taste. Ipro means 2% flavor. It's water, this much of the bottle, this much is flavoring. So it's a very light taste. Very light. But it's more interesting than water. Meditation is like water. You can't live without it. But everyone wants a taste of something. They want an interesting taste. So just find your taste. But inside it's water.
But it's not easy, or it's not that fast.
If you say it's easy, it's easy. If you say it's hard, it's hard. Don't make easy, don't make hard. Just do it. Don't make easy, don't make hard. Just do it. Why? Oh, easy, hard. It's easy. But if it's easy, it's good. Well, it's easy. Well, my friend said, don't. That's the really. That's the habit. That's where suffering comes from. Well, too hard. I can't do it. I don't know. I'll try this. That's attachment to thinking. But just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Then you get something. Really. Okay. Yeah, sir.
How do you learn to detach and let go after living a life of attaching?
How do you learn to detach and let go after living a life of attaching? What are you attached to? Show me your thoughts. Show me one. Show me one. Show it to me. Yeah, you can't show me, yeah? That's how you become detached. You think there's an attachment to something. You assume. But when you turn it back, actually you realize, you actually concede that it's not there. It's not there. Have you ever been married? Kind of. That will teach you. It's not there. While you're arguing with that person, it's very clear to you, but not clear to them. But from their point of view, it's very clear to them, but not clear to you. I think, and according to my thinking, I am. But my teacher used to say, before thinking, what? That's more interesting. Really? So, how do you let go? No, look, where's my thinking? Like I asked you, show me your thinking. The very famous story, Bodhidharma. Bodhidharma had a student, Hwa Gye. Hwa Gye came to him in the cave. Bodhidharma was just sitting facing the wall. Just sitting. Meditation, 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 meditation. Then Hwa Gye, the young monk, came to him and said, please teach me. Bodhidharma, many people came to Bodhidharma, bothering him, trying to interfere with his meditation. He just sat there, doing his meditation. This was teaching. He sat there. Then Hwa Gye said, please, teach me, please. Bodhidharma just sat there. Then, according to the story, which this is really a legend, it's this part, he cut off his arm and handed it to him. Said, this much. Bodhidharma just ignored him. Then he said, I'm in pain, I'm in agony, please relieve my pain. Bodhidharma said, give me your pain. Show me your pain. Thing. And Hwa Gye said, I can't. How can I can't find it. And Bodhidharma said, I have already relieved your pain. So Zen points just like that. How can you? Do you want some theory? Or, where's my thinking? Duh. Suffering, cut. Really? Really, 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 really. Very interesting, yeah. Very simple. Don't need to go to a shrink. Yes?
How do you keep it simple for your children before all the thinking gets to them?
Just you do it. When you're doing something, you do it. Then your children will follow you. When you're doing something, you do it. Completely, clearly, effortlessly. Without it. If you do it, your children will follow. Really. You can't tell them, especially now. You want to get your kid to do something now? Tell them the opposite of what you want them to do. You want them to be good? Say, I would like you to grow up, be a renegade, kill 50 people, and end up in prison your whole life. Then they'll be good. So you can't do it by telling. You can't tell anyone anything now. Because we have so much more input from so many other sources of information and influence. So your speech is just one little voice against the internet. Game over. Don't even try. You against the internet. Guess who loses? But, interesting. You just do it. Really, really. You do it. The responsibility comes back to you. We want to tell people what to do, but the responsibility comes back to me. I do it completely. Becomes clear. Really. It's very simple. What's most impressive about Jesus' teaching is, if you look, more than what he says, it's what he does that makes us interested in him. What he already does. And that's how it happens for your kids as well. Really. Yes, sir.
Apparently, Zen concentrates on meditation as a tool to reach enlightenment. Where does that leave the scriptures or the sutras? Are they useless, or do they have a place?
It's just like this, okay? Watch. I'm drinking Aquafina water right now. There are two ways to experience Aquafina water. Two ways. One way is, all bottled waters are not the same. Aquafina's state-of-the-art Hydro 7 trademark. Hydro 7 purification system consistently removes substances most other bottled waters leave in. So the only thing you taste in your water, ... is water. Aquafina, ... pure water, ... perfect taste, ... every time, ... 0 calories, sodium free. Nutrition facts. Serving size, 8 fluid ounces, 250 milliliters. Servings per day. 500 calories, 0 total fat, 0 degrees, 0 DV, sodium, 0 milligrams. Total carbs, 0 milligrams. Protein, 0 grams. Percent daily values are based on a 2,000 calorie diet. For more information about our purification process, visit www.aquafina.com. What else do we have? Just a second. Okay, so you get that? All bottled waters are not the same. Now, maybe I still don't understand Aquafina. Awesome. I mean, maybe you're from France or something, right? Maybe you're from France, and so, okay, I got to go back and check this out, because I still don't get what this Aquafina concept is doing. All bottled waters are not the same. Aquafina's state-of-the-art Hydro 7 trademark purification system consistently removes substances most other bottled waters leave in. So the only thing you taste in your water, ... is water, ... Aquafina, ... pure water, ... perfect taste, ... every time, ... I gotta check something here, because I got some of it, but something's a Hydro 7 part. Hydro 7. A Hydro 7 purification system consistently. So this is making a claim. You can believe that. You can believe that. That's like religion. You can believe that. then what's another water they sell down here in Florida? Huh?
Zephyr Hills. Zephyr Hills.
Zephyr Hills. Then the Zephyr Hills people come in with their label. And they go, Zephyr Hills. Zephyr Hills is brought out of an aquifer deep in Florida, southern Gulf Coast. We are no, boys, we are wells deep 200 meters below the ground in deep granite rock. It's conserved and minerals and purified, better than Aquafina. Aquafina people should go to hell anyway. So you got your Aquafina people, you got your Zephyr Hills people. At the level, scripture and religion is at the level of the label, describing exactly and perfectly what this is. Perfectly. Zen means
Then what do you translate that book for?
huh?
What do you translate that book for?
Big mistake. Big mistake. It's the same reason why they put labels on these things. Only stupid people read the labels. The enlightened go straight to the juice. So, sometimes in this world we need a label to tell us what is going on. But if you attach to the label, if you remain at the label, you don't get what this really is. So the Bible, all Buddhist sutras, the Quran, the Torah, the Tao Te Ching, they're all just like this label. Not good, not bad. Up in the Northeast, we got Poland Spring. You Aquafina and Zephyr Hills people ain't got nothing on us. You can all go to hell. The understanding of the label is part way. It's part way what this is. It's a very, very shallow part of what this, but it does. It explains this. Hey, I know I ain't drinking Coke. But if you just remain at that level, you don't get the truth of this. Zen means, that's why the Buddha said, don't believe what I said. He said, it's documented. The Buddha said, don't believe what I taught you for 45 years. Don't believe it just because I said it. Don't believe it. Try it. Try it then. Or you drink and just what then you confirm it. So scriptures, teachings, religions, it's just that, this label part, okay? So if you still don't understand, buy a bottle of Aquafina. Go home, look at the label thing. See how much that satisfies you. In fact, I have a test for you. If you want to understand really how much religion can do for you and how much really practice can do for you, buy a bottle of Aquafina, right? And go home. Try to exist on just your understanding of the label. Don't eat or drink anything else. For 5 days. It's easy. If you want to go to the root of all religion, try that. But it won't satisfy. And it won't save your life. But one sip is better than, we say in Zen, one action is better than 10,000 understandings. Okay? So many people understand religion. But Jesus was killed because he wasn't, if you look in the Gospels, he's not the smartest guy there. As far as scripture and tradition and the rules and everything. At that level of understanding, of mere understanding. He's breaking rules all over the place. That's what's so interesting about it. So fascinating. Because it was beyond the understanding that people were beating him up with. It was about the wisdom inside the understanding he pointed to. Yeah. Okay, anyway, I've gone on too long about that. Anyone else who hasn't asked a question? One more question and then it's... Yes?
I want to ask you what do you think? Did you say that? No, nothing. No. You said before that you think you messed up your. Did you say that before? You say that.
Can we play this tape back for her?
So my English is not very.
No. Don't attach to thinking.
Okay. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So I want to ask you, tell us if you can tell us something about the miracles.
About miracles.
Miracles.
Mm. So, a little while ago I had a delicious Thai dinner. Now I have energy, I can talk with you. It's a miracle. The stuff came out. I looked at a little book with some words and things, that called a menu. I said to this, I'd have V6, moderate, spicy, I'd like 3 chili peppers, 2 star, it was a 2-star. I said these words, concepts. Went into his head, he put something down on the page, he went into another room, he came out with this plate of hot stuff. When I smelled it, my mouth got excited. I put it in, got energy, I can talk with you. That's a miracle. It's miraculous. Really. Everyday life is miraculous. Everyday life. But we want special. We want something special. Special. If you look at the Gospels, when Jesus is doing those miracles, he doesn't want to. He hates doing it. Look what he says. I do this because you're lacking in faith. Because your faith is weak, I have to do these sorts of things. They're tricks to get your attention. He says, actually, the real miracle is loving your brother as yourself. If you can do that, you don't need this trickery. He knows that. He says it. Look at it. I went to divinity school, okay? I don't know. I haven't spent a lot of time down in Florida, but up there you can freely talk about that kind of aspect of things. That was a side gig. The real thing was loving your neighbor. Treating others as yourself. That's all. So the real miracle is everyday life. Everyday life is a miracle. Every moment. Yes?
I don't think it sounds unserious. What is the name of the Thai restaurant?
Of course, that's everyday life.
University Drive, just south of Griffin, in that classical name.
No, that's a true way. That's a true way. Okay, so thank you much, everyone, for coming tonight. I think, Carlos, you have some announcements?
Yes. Really, what a wonderful evening couldn't have happened without your presence. So thank you so much for coming. Again, just to remind you, if everybody please could take home a brochure from Zen Center so that you can come and visit us and practice with us. We are here. South Order Zen Group is here only to promote this practice so that we can help each other do it. Sometimes it's a little difficult to do it by ourselves. Bodhidharma, 9 years in a cave, high class. Us, everyday life, sir, many distractions. So together maybe we can buddy up and say, we'll do this, yes. So we do it every weekend and sometimes during the week as well. And we don't really whack mistake. And tomorrow, we're going to have a one-day retreat with Hyungak Gak Sunim as the retreat leader. So there will be some teaching there as well. And this retreat will last from 8:30 in the morning, starting with orientation, until lunchtime. Then lunchtime, a little break, and then again meditation from around 1:30 to 4:30. So everybody's welcome to come. There's a small fee for that, but it's just to cover the expenses of the trip. Also, any type of donation is very encouraged and welcome to the teacher or to the group, no problem. We have the Big Mistake on sale. It's $14.95, which sometimes this big mistake helps us, remind us, or encourage us, or inspire us to do more practice. Ultimately, you're right. Those books are better to sit on than to read. But the point is, are you really sitting on them, or are you just thinking about it? It's a good idea. Also, if signing book was coming around. If anybody did not put down their information, we'd like to get in touch with us or have us deliver our announcements. Make sure your name is there. Any other questions or to register for tomorrow's retreat, you can come and see me. Yes, sir.
Where is the center?
The center is in Southwest Ranches, just Griffin Road, west of I-75. It's in Southwest Ranches, and then we can tell you how to get there. It's not difficult.
Rolling Oaks.
Rolling Oaks. Thank you so much again, and thank you for listening.